What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about making allies, specifically when you are migrating over to a new kingdom and you see fresh faces, fresh guilds, etc. How do you go about making allies? Now, my guild and myself just recently migrated over to a new kingdom, and as you can tell right here, it's a kingdom that's pretty lively. We got 18 guilds that are above 10 billion might power or higher. So we migrated here because we're gonna have plenty of targets to rallies, etc. And we're a war guild, and that's what we look for. We don't necessarily look for a kingdom where we can take base or forts, and none of that. We're just here to get our kill counts up, and that's really our mentality. Now, of course, not every guild is like that, but the main thing I want you to take away from this video is, in an alliance, it is a give and take. Like, okay, if they're our allies, they're not gonna hit us. That's great. But what exactly do you bring to the table? You see what I mean? It's not all they give. You also have to bring something to the table. Perfect example. We came over to this kingdom a couple of days ago and we started rallying everything that moved and had troops. QR came to us and they were like, okay, we're also a war guild and we would like to work with you. And we started talking and the communication was great. And it's also always a good thing to have a partner to do double rally with, etc. if you're in a kingdom, because it allows you to hit higher targets that you probably normally wouldn't attack by yourselves, etc. And everything went well. So as a warring guild, we saw this opportunity as, okay, we're gonna be allying with another war guild and we're gonna be having fun together against everybody else in the kingdom. Now there's a couple of different thoughts here. Number one, if you go into a brand new kingdom, the first thing is that it's a good way for you to meet new people, to make friends with a lot of new people, and to have a lot of fun. And you gotta also remember that in this game, not only is it a game of war per se, but it's also a game where you can meet and have friendships with a lot of different people from all over the world. So if you go over to a kingdom and you're just set on not having any sort of allies, you're kind of denying yourself of new experiences, making new friends, etc. And that's how we look at it. We've already met a couple of great people that we're working with, and if we wouldn't have become allies with them, we wouldn't have ever talked to them. You gotta remember that in this game, it's a very social game. So if you start removing the social aspect and you just keep it to within your guild, it's going to start getting stale. Just for the same reason that I also believe that everybody should be migrating every couple of months. Of course, unless migration just costs you an arm and a leg. Because if you stay in the same kingdom for too long, it becomes stale. You start seeing the same people over and over again, the same enemies over and over again. And you need something fresh, something new. So our guild just migrated, and everything here is fresh. We've never warred with any of these people. We've never been allies with any of these people. So it's a brand new experience, and it feels like a brand new game. Like the game is invigorated, and now with a brand new ally, it just feels like a brand new experience. And that's something that you want to keep going with. And so in this case, the give and take for us was, okay, QR, what we're going to be giving them is a great partner for them to be rallying with. And what they're going to be offering us is the same thing, another great partner for us to be rallying us. Now, of course, if you're not a rally guild, then you can look at it in a different way. If you're a smaller guild, let's say you're somewhere down here, right? You can always approach the higher up guild somewhere up here and say, hey, we want to become allies. If you can't help with warring as far as troops or rallying, etc., you can always offer to give them resources. That way they can keep healing, making troops, whatever it is. Because like I said, it's a give and take. You don't go into an alliance expecting the other person or the other party to give you everything and then you not give anything back. And also, you have to remember that a lot of times with an alliance, before it even happens, they need to see that you are actually going to be holding your end of the bargain. So whether that's resources, attacking, etc., you got to make sure that you bring something to the table that's going to help that other party in their goals. So for instance, if another guild comes up to us outside of QR, let's say a smaller guild, right? Now we only necessarily just want one ally at max. But if another guild down here says, hey, we can offer you X amount of resources every week or every day, however it is, if it's a decent amount of resources that, you know, that can cover us for healing, making new troops, etc., I would have to take that into consideration, because I know that resources aren't cheap, and there are people out there that are really hurting for resources, whether it's food, gold, etc. That's something that I would have to keep in mind. And even though it's a guild that's not going to help us actually rally down a target or anything like that, it's a guild that will be supplying us resources in order for us to keep attacking, to make new troops and all of that. So once again, allies, it's a give and take, but you also have to remember that communication is key. And if you're just dead set on a specific thing and you do not want to budge, a lot of times that's going to make an alliance kind of fall apart, because you have to also be somewhat flexible. And if you are not offering anything, it's really not going to go anywhere. So keep that in mind. Make sure that the first thing you got to do is you have to realize what kind of guild you're in, whether you're in a warring guild, whether you're kind of like an in-between guild. I would say that's kind of like a guild that can rally or could rally, but doesn't often do it. Or if you're more in a farming guild where you're more worried about growing your account, etc., you have to know what you can offer that other guild and what that other guild can offer you. And if it makes sense, if there's communication back and forth, then it can work out. So yeah, hopefully these tips can help you guys out going forward in the future. If you're migrating to a new kingdom, make sure that you keep all of those things in mind, because it will help you going forward. And like I mentioned, making new friends, making new alliances goes a long way, because new faces, new enemies keeps the game fresh. But yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and until later.